is with our podcasters. I mean, we go from last week from having 2 people to having a packed house not having enough mics. Oh, that's right.
Are you complaining?
No, I mean, I forgot.
understand.
You weren't here at the start of last week. You came in late. I'm sorry.
Okay.
My bad. Sorry.
Thanks for calling me out.
Oh, God. I'm not calling you out. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Threading and Dreading. And as you've heard, we do have a packed house tonight, but we are still going to get out a list of these trailers and a bit of movie news for you. And hopefully we can stay cool in here, even though it's October. It's hot as hell in my house. I apologize for that. Just in the house.
No reason. No reason at all. It is really nice outside. Crack a window.
But we're going to go around the room and introduce everybody. To my right, we have...
The goddess of gore.
How you
Making
doing?
sure that was on your right.
Yes. we always get that screwed up.
That's a lot.
I shouldn't speak right now.
But how are you?
I'm just fabulous.
Good. Glad to hear it. And next to her, we actually have... Well, you know what? Before we get to you, we'll introduce you last. Hope you don't mind.
No.
But across from the goddess of gore, we have...
The fangirl extraordinaire.
And how you doing?
I'm doing good.
That's good.
Yay.
Good.
She's without her twin.
I know.
Oh, yeah. No twin this week.
That's okay.
Because, you know, it's extremely rare for you to be matched up with your twin.
Yeah. So sad.
But next to the fangirl extraordinaire, we have...
Confucius 2.0.
And how you doing, sir?
Good. You bring the pumpkin beer, and I'm here.
Yeah. You'll just come for the pumpkin beer?
Well, for you too.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But for our final guest tonight, some of you may recall that a few weeks ago, or actually about a month ago now, we had a contest where we had you all submit questions for, well, basically the crew for our anniversary podcast. And we decided that whoever would win that contest would be able to get a special guest spot on Threading and Dreading. So I'd like to introduce my buddy from back in the day at the movie theater, a former projectionist like myself. Please welcome Rob.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. How you doing?
I'm good. I kind of feel like I cheated that contest since we knew each other.
No, I mean, you still had the best questions. Now, admittedly, you had, oddly enough, like the same questions as other people.
Right.
But you still had good questions.
Yeah,
so.
that,
You did
that
it
top
first,
10
so,
thing
yeah.
is it's a generic question. I don't know if they've covered it. Let me just send it. But what was the question that got me here? The which actress you can't stand the most?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah, that changes every week, you know. But for the time, I think everyone unanimously said Kristen Stewart.
Oh, that was mine.
I said Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
And oddly enough about him, it's weird. If he's not talking, he's good. Now, stay with me. I know that seems weird, but he's able to emote well.
So he would be good in
Yeah.
the 20s and the
Yeah, if he was in the 20s or 30s, he would have been good.
No,
He
I kind of agree with you. Like there was this one scene where he like turns around in the last of the prequels of the Star Wars prequels.
Mm-hmm.
He turns around and that was like the best shot of him throughout like all 3
right.
movies.
There are scenes where it was like that, and was he in Jumper?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
a jumper.
That was
Where
so bad.
when he's not talking,
pretty
he's
bad.
actually emoting pretty well. But whenever he talks, I'm like, dude, just shut up.
Yeah.
Please,
just
shut
sounds
up.
stupid.
My favorite Hayden performance is Awake, where he's just asleep the whole movie.
There you go. That was an easy performance for him. What else has he been in other than Jumper and the prequels and Awake, obviously?
He hasn't got anything a lot since then.
No, admittedly so.
Yeah.
And freaking Jumper, that was just in that genre of let's give pretty people superpowers.
That was
you
a
know.
really bad movie, and I don't like what's her face, Rachel Bilson, very much either.
No, I'm not a fan of her either.
It's just her. I mean, it's her and her very high-pitched, squeaky voice. I mean, I don't have a problem with that normally, but her voice just somehow just it's like fingernails on a chalkboard for me.
Fair enough.
You don't like the Magnum commercials where she's chasing after the ice cream bar?
Oh,
She doesn't talk, so.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
there you shuts up. Yeah.
So basically, the both of them should have just stayed completely silent in that film, and it would have been okay.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Sam
but-
Jackson was in it. He could have
Yeah.
did the brunt of the talking.
Yeah, he could have just done voiceovers for everybody.
Right.
I would have been okay with that.
Admittedly, whenever that Magnum commercial comes on, you like crave one of those Magnum bars.
They just look really good.
They-
Has nothing to do with
With her, yeah.
Her, yeah.
Just like they
the
look really
actual
good. Yeah.
product.
She just
like-
likes Magnums.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, exactly. But I remember it's weird tangent off on a fucking Magnum commercial, but when that woman crunches into that bar, it doesn't sound like that would ever be possible. It sounds like she's crunching into a piece of wood. It's like no type of ice cream bar would make that sound.
It's just like Slim Jims, like the Macho Man. That's
Ooh,
what got
yeah!
Slim
that's
Jim?
what got me to buy Slim Jims. I was like, I want to make that sound, but 200 Slim Jims later, I find out you can never ever make that sound.
That Macho Man was
200
a lying
Slim
son of
Jims
a
later
bitch.
and a bunch of acne. I give it. Oh man, Dude, I love Slim Jims back in the day.
I still love them.
Yeah, and then they transitioned from Randy Savage into that Eat Me guy. You remember that? The guy with like the Slim Jim head.
Oh yeah.
That
was
psycho-
like a Slim
Yeah,
Jim.
he was basically was
Supposed
a
to be
Slim
like
Jim.
a walking Slim Jim. Yeah.
Yeah, that was disturbing. Like, there's one time he got eaten, and then they were performing surgery on the person, and he bust out of the stomach. I was like, dude, this is like some creepy shit they're doing in these commercials.
Doesn't matter. It still got me to eat Slim Jims. Though.
Yeah.
It worked.
They still made that noise. He had to try.
Yeah.
I still had to try. But afterwards, I just take a bite and it was like, eat me.
Yeah, eat me. God. So what's been new, guys?
Nope.
Nope,
No.
nothing. Nothing at all. It's been a slow couple weeks, I guess. But you actually I actually did want to bring one thing up, which is that probably either later this week or when we post this podcast, there is some really, really cool art that was done by a gentleman over in Scotland who some of you may know as Craig, also known as Travis Pickle from the old Spill.com website. But he fashioned us some art, which I have to say is some of the most amazing art I've ever seen for our channel. In fact, Rob, I'll show you this to you real quick. But this gentleman in Scotland, Craig Thompson, I think is his name, he was able to fashion us basically all different avatars of what we represent on the channel. So I'll hand that over to Rob real quick.
That's pretty neat. I like all that.
It's friggin' badass. I love it. Everyone
Yeah.
is so well represented. And Craig, I cannot thank you enough. You did an amazing job on this art. So thank you so much. And it will definitely be debuting on our channel very soon. So I couldn't be more thrilled for it. It looks really good.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. The first thing after they were done, after Craig was finished, was I submitted them to everybody to make sure they were okay with their designs. And Paul comes back with, oh, well, I wouldn't have designed it like that. Fuck you, Paul! No, I don't care how you would have designed it, but you look great. He's like, I look like Tony Stark in a onesie. And you're complaining about this? You know?
He kind of looks like Nightwing, but flying.
Yeah, it could be many different designs. It's based off the Red Lantern Corps design.
Okay.
But I still think it looks cool. Everyone looks amazing.
Yeah,
so
they look pretty good.
we have no complaints. You know what? Craig, again, you did an amazing job, so thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yay.
So, if there's nothing else to bring up, we're going to get right into the movie news. Now, I've got three things I want to get through. The first one of which is mainly a joke, but it should be addressed just because Miss Fangirl is here. And it's that,
Okay.
and you brace for
gonna
this.
We'll have to see.
So, the first bit of news is that a Baywatch movie is on the way, and it will be
Oh, I read
headed
about
by
this.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
That's more of a groan for her.
I like it.
Any thoughts?
No.
Okay. I bring this up, Rob, because she is in. Well, you don't outright hate him.
I don't hate him, but I don't like him very much. either. And I don't know. I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess for something like this, it would be okay. But I still haven't seen the new Hercules movie.
I didn't hear good things about it.
Yeah,
Now,
it
you
looked
saw
pretty
it,
awful.
right?
I did see it.
Yeah. And what did you think?
I mean, it was. I'm so not critical of movies. So I didn't.
What
think
are
it
you
was
doing
that bad.
Come on, pick it apart.
Be the cynical asshole. Come on.
I like the idea that it had of like Hercules, but then like real things that could have been behind a real person, not just
Okay.
It's not just the myth, but the practicality of, you know,
Right.
like, you know, always the tales always get bigger over time, you know.
right, or
and
like what
what
really happened,
Right.
kind of thing.
And, you know, and and against that movie, the first thing I said is, yeah, when I think a Greek demigod, yeah, I think a half black, half Samoan. Yeah.
Yeah. I swear the first trailer I saw, I was like, did they lighten the Rock up? Did they lighten this pigment up? I swear he looks
Put that
lighter.
filter on him, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Confucius 2.0. You have something to say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's probably because people just fear the people's elbow.
Ah,
saying.
That was it.
yeah.
I don't want to talk
That is it.
badly about it because I don't
Exactly.
want him to come
That's
over
right. He's
here.
gonna
And
lay
give
up
you
the
the-
smackdown.
Did you see that some guy, some coach at Ohio State did that to a fan?
Yeah, he sidewalk slammed that guy.
Yeah!
I saw that.
So,
That was great.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but at an Ohio State game, some fan ran to the field in the middle of the game. This trainer on the sideline grabs the guy, puts his arm around his neck, and fucking just drops him to the ground.
I thought it was the strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah, that's what it was. And this guy got fucking wrecked. I was like, oh my God, power to you. And all the Ohio State fans were like, oh, he showed he didn't show enough restraint. He could have hurt him. I'm like, fuck him. He ran out in the middle of the field in the middle of a game. Fuck that kid. I'm sorry. But no. He got what he got coming, you know? Anyway, getting back on this. So, Paramount Pictures has set Dwayne Johnson to headline their big screen version of Baywatch. The Hollywood Reporter today also brings word that the We're the Millers team, which is Sean Anners and John Morris, will direct, well, I should say the big screen rendition, and Justin Mullen will be writing the screenplay. Now, who else saw We're the Millers?
I saw the Millers.
I-
That's a good
wait,
movie.
Wait, the one with Jennifer Aniston?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that.
And, it was kind of divided among critics, but I kind of liked it.
I liked it.
I had
liked
fun.
it.
I thought it was
good.
really good.
You know,
It was
no,
funny.
some movies like that I can't get behind, where it's, the group of outcasts coming together and then, the bonding of it. I'm not usually in for that, but I had fun with that movie. I did. And that directing team, those two guys, if they come back for Baywatch, I don't know if they're going to have it be more slapstick or if they're going to be more comical with it, but I hope they do because Baywatch is kind of a silly topic,
I hope they make fun of
That's what I'm hoping.
the show.
Right.
Yeah,
Probably
that-
go
that
to
would be
21 Jump
best.
Street route.
Right.
Yeah.
They take a melodrama and turn it into a comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
Um,
I also, going back to Dwayne Johnson, I just realized what I had in my head. I feel like he doesn't have the physique to be a bodyguard. I mean, not a bodyguard, a
Lifeguard?
lifeguard.
Lifeguard.
I feel like he's
This just in, Dwayne Johnson is in Paul Blart 4.
because I feel like he's a lot denser than that. Like I feel like he wouldn't
Dense.
float.
I like that description.
Like-
Dense.
Like I don't know. I mean, I know he's chiseled and built and big, but that's what it is, right?
But
Like
bodybuilders don't equal lifeguards.
exactly, because usually I don't. That's
more
not where
lean.
He's
yeah.
going
Right.
to sink.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
Exactly. And that was something that someone brought up recently with the movie Pain and Gain, which he was in with Mark Wahlberg.
Right.
It looked like The Rock couldn't turn his head. He had so many muscles that looked like he had roided out so much that I was like, okay, that man cannot. If he's going to look the other way, he has to turn his whole body. So this is a guy who's going to be the lead lifeguard.
That's weird.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
But
you throw a rock in the ocean, he's going to sink.
This is true. Yeah. Maybe that's the point. Like he gets in there and then he needs saving.
The Hoff runs out.
Yeah.
Cameo, it's
But-
here.
No, you bring that up, but parts have been written for both Hasselhoff and Pamela Anderson.
I was gonna say who's gonna play the Pamela Anderson role.
So it'll probably be her.
Come on, Kate
Well-
Upton.
Oh,
Oh,
God. You know, you joke about that, but they're probably trying to get her.
I would
Yeah.
hope so. I mean, she was the only saving grace in that. What was that movie? The Other Woman.
Oh, The Other Woman.
Which was
Never
terrible.
saw that.
I didn't
It's
see that.
terrible.
That reminds me of something of like Bride Wars, you know, where it's just like...
Oh, God.
That was so bad.
It's like, it's supposed to be like kind of empowering women, but somehow it still kind of degrades them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, basically.
But Anders and Morris, the guys who are going to be set to direct this, I had no idea, but they're actually directing Horrible Bosses too. So, you know, they kind of have a good streak going for this genre where they're not parroting themselves directly, but they're just having fun with the movie.
Right.
So I think they're a good choice for this. If they decide to go that route with Baywatch, I hope they don't try to make Baywatch serious.
I
but-
can't see that happening with
No.
their resume of other movies.
Right. Oddly enough, I'm kind of looking forward to this. I think it could be fun. Now, I'll say this, and you can rag on me if you want.
Oh, God.
I watched Baywatch when I was a kid.
I did too.
I-
I'm pretty sure a lot of us did.
I watched it when I was young enough that I didn't really get all the slow-mo, and I didn't understand what was really going on with those scenes and how the women were...
Sure.
Oh, no, I didn't! I was like 9 or 10. I didn't get
That's
what...
old enough.
That's
Yeah.
what I was watching for.
What? Oh, God.
Oh.
Oh, Lordy. Confucius has pulled up the music for Baywatch.
It's a good theme. Come on.
Dun, 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 dun. That's like the intro music for every 90s show right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
To the lane.
Lifeguard station just blew up.
Uh-oh.
To help.
Something's going down.
I'm a little ashamed that I know
I was about
the
to say,
words.
Mike, those lyrics
Don't
are right
you
on point.
worry. It's gonna be all right.
We need to talk.
My parents would always tout the fact that, oh, they have real lifeguards on the show. You know, they're really good, and they're good actors, too. I'm like, no, they aren't. Thank you, Confucius. But yeah, I would watch the show as a kid. I watched it because, you know, my parents, well, my mom was once a lifeguard, my aunt was a lifeguard, my uncle was a lifeguard. I come from a line of lifeguards. So they watched it because they're like, oh, it's a lifeguard show for once. And I'm like... okay, you know, but when I'm younger, I didn't get why, you know, there was the slow-mo and all the women always seemed to end up to get kidnapped or tied up, and while there was so much violence going on, it's like, what, is this what lifeguards do? You know? But yeah, sure.
I like how he's trying to justify why he.
I'm not trying to justify it.
Baywatch.
I'm ashamed that I like the show, okay?
Come on, man. Just say it.
No.
Boobs.
If I were to watch it now, I'd be
Boobs.
ashamed that I like this thing. And by like the final season, they tried to jump the shark so much. Like it was almost like their MO. Like we have to jump the shark every episode. There was one where they get attacked by a giant squid. I shit you not. There was an episode where they get attacked by a squid. I'm like, okay. Even when I'm young, I'm like, something is weird here. You know?
You really have a very extensive knowledge of Baywatch, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't.
So there's a sequel. We're getting Baywatch Nights, right?
Yes. Oh my god. I never watched that.
It's
I was
pretty
aware
bad.
of it, but I never watched it.
If they made the show now, they instead of just a giant octopus, they would have, you know, Sharktopus and
Yes.
Sharknado.
Yeah,
attacking.
Sharknado. Mecha Shark. And all. Oh, man. So we have that to look forward to eventually. And next up on the list here, we have... It's almost like a reoccurring theme. Like every week we should have the reboot corner. Because
God.
now we have Warner Brothers to reboot I Am Legend.
What?
Why?
Unnecessary.
Exactly! It's like the unnecessary corner of the week. Like every studio is releasing a new reboot for something.
But like that wasn't that long.
That was 2007, 2008?
Yeah, something. I think
Yeah.
it was 08, 09, but
Yeah, somewhere in there.
I mean, they were trying to get a sequel made for the longest
They
time.
really
and
were.
they're
And
just
that's
like,
the thing.
Let's
People
just throw it out.
yeah. I Am Legend was actually a pretty big success. Worldwide, it made $500 million.
It's an okay movie.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing: hardcore
Not
fans
great.
of the book absolutely hated the movie.
Yeah, because it didn't follow what the book was trying to convey.
It deviated really far from that. Yeah. Now, the one thing I remember from the movie is that it did predict the Batman Superman film.
That's right. Yeah.
Do you remember that?
No.
And in the opening sequence when he's hunting with his dog and there's like a lion comes out of nowhere or something to like prey on a deer, in the background you see the logo
Right.
of Batman and Superman imposed on each other.
Yeah,
And
he's
it
like
says,
walking
like-
through Times Square, I think.
Yeah, and it says like
Okay.
2016 or something on it. And at the time you're like, that's kind of a funny reference because it's Warner Brothers and they're part of DC and whatever. And then sure enough, 5 years later, they're calling out that movie. I'm like, holy shit. You know? So if there's an airborne virus that turns people into zombies/vampires, we're kind of fun.
I'm going to be pissed that we don't get Batman and Superman before we die.
Yeah. But anyway, as far as this goes, Deadline is reporting that writer Gary Graham wrote an original screenplay called A Garden at the End of the World. And here's where it starts to piss me off. The studio read the screenplay and thought that it had similar themes to I Am Legend, and therefore it could be rewritten as a reboot for the franchise. So this guy wrote a screenplay completely unrelated to I Am Legend, and the studio said, oh, that kind of looks like I Am Legend. How about we do this as a reboot?
That's stupid.
It's extremely
So
stupid.
instead of rebooting it so it's closer to the
Original
parent-
material.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
material.
They're going to go
We're
down
gonna
this...
reboot it with something completely different that was kind of similar.
Right.
That's the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard.
I'm right with you. I would understand if they tried to reboot it to not necessarily just appease the fans, but get closer to the original source material.
that would be
Exactly.
interesting.
I could get behind that.
Yeah.
You know?
and,
But
and it would be interesting if they actually made it so that it is from the other perspective, so it's kind of like a parallel movie.
right.
That would
Okay,
be
yeah.
really interesting.
Right. But no, they got this guy's screenplay who just happened to have a similar theme to I Am Legend, and they're going to rewrite it into I Am Legend. That would be like me writing a story in space where there's a big, gigantic government fighting a group of tiny rebels, and then, we're going to make this into the next Star Wars film. It's like, but it has nothing to do with fucking Star Wars.
Right. Is this guy going to be getting any money from this, or they're just
Oh,
like,
I'm sure they purchased the
Oh,
screenplay
hey.
from him. Yeah. They can't just take it from him. I'm sure they purchased the screenplay, but they're going to say, hey, we're going to rewrite yours.
but why not just make it its own movie?
Because
I mean, I can
and-
see if it had problems, you can like work with it and fix it, but you
Right.
don't need to.
And again, as we always bring
hurts
up,
my brain.
I know, as we've always bring up with these reboots, it's not about making a quality movie. It's about the recognizability of the name.
I'm just
getting
gonna
the
sit
name-
here and bash my head against the wall until
Okay.
it makes sense.
That's never gonna happen.
I'll be dead first.
Yeah.
It's the idea of people will only go into the film if they recognize the name, no matter how how good your
Because
film is.
people are stupid.
They are. They really are. And I got into this debate at work the other day. We
The
always.
stupidity of mankind.
Yes. Oh, yeah. But we all sit here and we talk about how we wish Hollywood would make something original. About how, we wish they would produce something other than reboots and remakes.
They're out of new ideas, Mike.
They are.
They're
But here's
out.
the thing. This past weekend, let's take, for example, the movie The Equalizer, which we saw and we enjoyed. But admittedly, it's Denzel Washington doing the exact same thing he's done for the last 3 films.
Sure.
And then behind that, you had The Maze Runner, which is admittedly just another young adult. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's
I
another young
want to
adult.
see that still.
But then in third place,
Right? Yeah. Okay.
you had The Box
Yeah.
Trolls. Admittedly, The Box Trolls is something original. The Box Trolls is something new. It's from a studio that I really like a Studio, which is, Paranorman and Coraline, movies I really love, and they're trying to do something new with each film. And I like that. They're not making Coraline 2. They're not making Paranorman 2.
They're not rebooting.
Yeah, they're not
Coraline.
rebooting Coraline. Yeah, they're trying to be original. And yet, that movie comes in third place to the others.
But it's
So-
also an animated film, which
Yeah.
targets a completely different audience.
This is true, but at the same time, animated films, if it's the only one out at the time, do reasonably well. This is the only animated film out right now. So it should have done very well, but yet people are like, oh no, we'd rather see Denzel Washington again.
But it's Denzel.
That's true, man. People come out and force for Denzel.
Right, and this is true.
Regardless if it's
But,
bad or
but
not.
this is the
Exactly.
point I'm trying to make. Instead of seeing something original, everyone went and saw The Equalizer. Now, I'm not judging The Equalizer on its merits. If it was good, it was good. But what I'm saying is, when studios make something original and it doesn't pay off, why should the studio continue to make something original when people are going in and seeing the same film over and over?
But in all fairness, at least the Equalizer wasn't a reboot, or it wasn't
True.
a remake.
Yeah.
It wasn't
No.
another.
But we
There
got
wasn't
a-
another movie with the
Yeah,
same name.
I mean, the name that was attached to it was Denzel. Like,
Right.
right? Like, it's, I mean, and that's just the nature of Hollywood. It's
Maybe
kind of
Box
like,
Trolls just needed Denzel in their movie.
You didn't.
I was just gonna say that.
Sorry.
You know what this world needs? More Denzel. That's it. Just you know what? Screw Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Hercules. Put Denzel in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Put
Denzel's
Denzel in there.
everything.
He'll be.
You know, there is a funny quote from I think it was Gary Oldman on Book of Eli, that the most expensive special effect on Book of Eli was Denzel Washington. That was the most expensive thing in the movie. They had to get Denzel in there, and he was the most expensive thing in the movie. And admittedly, they sold a lot more tickets because Denzel was in there.
Exactly. So I don't think that's a very fair comparison.
Well, but I still think it is, because it's about going into something. I mean, if
No,
The
I-
Equalizer was something completely brand new, something that Denzel had never done before, then
I mean, but there's always got to be a first, right? Like, I mean, these are genres of movies. These are, and what you're talking about is a reboot versus an idea which is similar to something
right,
old, right?
But,
Like,
but the Denzel idea has been used a lot. He did it on Man on Fire. He did it. At
But
Taking
you
Apart
could
1, 2,
argue with the
3.
Box Trolls, it's, as you said yourself, a fish out of water story, which has been done before.
exactly.
Okay, well that's just a cliche of Hollywood. That's not, the
But
idea of the
so
Box
is-
Trolls is really original.
But I mean, I
There's just no arguing with you. You
I'm-
can't
I'm sorry.
see
Oh, no.
what we're saying.
Rob, any
I mean,
input?
because
Are you don't want to get in the middle of this?
I mean, like I can see both sides, but I mean, I think Box Trolls looked a lot different than what we've seen before. Monsters in a box. I mean,
That's true.
I mean, it looked pretty cool. I mean, I enjoy stop motion, so
It gives
Yeah.
new meaning to the phrase "get in my box," you know. But
yeah, there you go.
Get out.
thank you. Good night. And now the ladies
Anyway.
look at me like they want to kill me.
no, that happened 5 minutes before. You just didn't notice it. No,
Usually it's Paul pissing you off.
well, I mean, no, you're not pissing me off. That's just my normal resting face.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a great meme.
But anyway, if there's nothing else about this, yeah. So they plan to reboot the film, and I really couldn't care less. I probably will not see it. I'm kind of meh about it.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, again, I think it depends on the direction it's trying to take.
right.
And
Which right
but
now doesn't look like it's very
Yeah.
good.
No.
we'll
But
see.
yeah, we will see. So the final bit of news, which a fangirl and I were discussing the other day, but it is that Facebook plans to release 5 Twilight short films.
All right.
I read that this week too. What the
Uh-huh.
hell? Sadly, those shorts could be better than the films.
You know what? This is quite possible. Now, I'm going to give you the rundown of what they plan to do with this. Now, Lionsgate has announced this, and they're teaming up with Facebook, Women in Film Organization, and the best-selling Twilight Saga author Stephanie Meyer, God, I hate saying that, to create a social media campaign to produce a series of short films directed by aspiring female filmmakers. The campaign, called The Storytellers, New Creative Voices in the Twilight Saga, will include films based on the broad spectrum of characters in the Twilight universe. The campaign will center upon a multi-phase contest, culminating in the selection of at least 5 aspiring female filmmakers,
Oh, they have to be females?
apparently all female, yeah, to direct
very
short
sexist.
films based
Okay.
on... whoa, no, Rob, don't! Rob, what have you done?
Take it back.
Take it back to this moment. Don't do that.
Well, I mean, man, she can just blow up. I don't care. I've heard worse.
Okay, let me finish this real quick. So, they plan to select 5 female filmmakers to direct short films based on the Twilight universe. The films will be produced and directed with the mentorship of a panel of advisors, which includes Stephanie Meyer herself, actress Kristen Stewart, which is a terrible mistake, Academy Award winners Kate Winslet and Octavia Spencer, Jennifer Lee, who was actually a director of Frozen, and let's see, Twilight director herself, Catherine Hardwicke, and then the Women in Film president, Kathy Schulman. And the 5 winning shorts will be financed through production advances, and fans will help select the grand prize winner, who will receive a cash prize and further career opportunities. Now, let me say this. I am always in support of getting young filmmakers, further advancement. I think that is great. I just wish it was with better material.
Yeah.
If you are giving me a contest to get 5 young female filmmakers a chance at doing anything else, if it was for Harry Potter, if it was for the Hunger Games, if it was for any genre, I would be all for that. I think it would be great. But fuck Twilight. I don't want to see any more of these because the material is so bad that any young aspiring filmmaker, they're already working with crap. I'm sorry, they're not working with good material.
If they take side characters that are totally really unexplored in the Stephanie Meyer's books, then they can make it their own kind of
this
product,
is true.
which could be leaps and bounds.
But
this
better.
is true. This is very
so
true.
That scares me.
That's true, but she's not writing it, so that's
true.
a
But
plus.
she's gonna have a lot of influence. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not how I expected that character to go.
Right.
You know?
And considering she's on the panel of advisors, you know how much power these advisors
Yeah.
are going to have.
I'm just hoping for the best.
Right. It's always good to hope for the best. Now, my only thought is they've been talking about this for the last couple years. They plan on doing another series of films from Edward's perspective.
Why?
Because there's more money to milk from that Twilight teat.
Well,
That's
she wanted
why.
to write a book. She wanted to write the books from his
Right.
perspective. Which
And then there'd be films
probably
based
would've
off
made
them.
any films,
And
but-
they'd recast everyone. It wouldn't be the same cast again. But they'd make a whole other series from his point of view. So this may be...
this is better.
What?
I'm saying this. Is
Oh no!
Better.
If it's
I
just
think.
if it's 5
Than
short
that.
films, I mean, here's the thing: even if a short film is bad, it's short, so you can get through it. It's not an hour and a half or 2 hours, so it's okay. And I'm not saying these films are going to be bad. They could be very competent. They could be 5 great young filmmakers. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see more of it. I'm tired of this.
Okay.
It died 2 years ago. I
Mike,
want
you
it
don't
to
have
stay
to watch
dead.
it, Mike.
Yeah.
You don't want to watch it,
Very
you don't have
true.
to.
And I'm kind of interested because it would be interesting to see. I don't think that they would participate or as likely to participate, but like if there were young filmmakers out there who were not necessarily into the Twilight Saga as much, but they're more critiquing it and then kind of taking a different perspective on the characters completely. That would also be really interesting to see because, with that panel, that sounds like a pretty, interesting group of women
It is.
who
It
would
is.
be able to help them kind of develop maybe better a better understanding of women in film. So
Right. Now, yeah, and that's a good point. Now, there's been a common rallying cry about this story online, and it's been that what's the girl's name, Bella, in the movie Belle?
yes,
or, yeah,
Bella.
that she is quite possibly one of the worst female characters in
Yes.
all of literature
Everything.
right
Yes,
now. Yeah.
everything.
So
So
to
it
have
wasn't just Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
Because I think, despite the flack that Kristen Stewart gets, I think she's, as a person, she's somebody who doesn't give 2 shits about anything. Like
She looks like
which-
a stoner.
but in a way where I think she's able to stand up for herself. Like, she gets basically just shit. People say shit about her all the time, but she's about to take that and turn it around. And I think just in spite of everything that all the hate that she gets, I think that's still a positive thing that we could take from it, that she's able to stand up and be like, all right, well, you know what? I don't care what everybody has to say. I'm just going to be who I am. We only know her from the paparazzi, from, certain, interviews that we get, and it's not the full picture. And
She
This is
just cheats
true.
on her boyfriends, right?
yeah, that wasn't great.
this is true.
So somewhere
That
there,
is
she's
true.
not a great person.
yeah, somewhere.
So
But nice, she doesn't give 2 shits. So.
I don't think she did care. She's like,
Yeah, no, she didn't
cheated
care.
on you. Moving on.
So my only other thought is, like Rob said, I don't have to watch them, thank God, but I am all for giving young filmmakers a chance.
Yeah.
I'm always for that, and if they can bring something good to this shit of a series, then power to them. If they can find that little gem, that little nugget in there, I wish you the best of luck. I don't know how you're gonna do that, but good luck to you. if there's nothing else to bring up, if you guys have any news you want to bring up, before we get into the trailers, anything you had heard over the past week or so, anything you want to mention?
No, I mean, unless we wanted to go into the debate or something, but otherwise.
Wait, what? I can't hear that.
Something about British.
Oh,
actor.
no. I was like, unless we wanted to bring up that debate about sexism, I think we're okay.
No, we'll get off that.
I don't really think they're being sexist.
So we're gonna get.
Just mind you, just be mindful. You bring up something, I have to go home with her.
You're just gonna be screaming about it in your ear the whole car ride home. Don't like that guy.
Hey.
Look at that fucking Rob.
You tell Mike never to invite him back.
So we're gonna get into the trailers. The first one being John Wick.
I lost everything. That dog was a final gift from my dying wife.
Jonathan, you got out once. You dip so much as a pinky back into this pond, you may find something reaching out to pull you back in.
It's personal.
Where'd you get that car?
What does it matter?
It's not what you did, son. It's who you did it to.
Nobody?
But nobody. Is John Wick.
I hadn't heard about this until about a couple of weeks ago. There had been really no press for this. I'd only seen a couple of TV spots, and I hadn't even seen any trailers at the movies. And finally, I had to look up the trailer in order to see the full trailer. Well, after seeing the trailer, I gotta say I am into this for this simple reason.
Keanu's back.
Yeah, right?
No, not just
say I'm back.
Not just that, but I am all about puppy revenge.
Yeah?
I am all about that.
Oh, man.
That's what, when Kim and I were watching this trailer, that's basically what we said. We were like, people are so much more emotional when puppies and animals get killed in movies.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
As compared
absolutely.
to, like, human being people.
It adds to the fact that this puppy is so adorable.
It is.
It is so
Oh my
cute.
God.
And fucking Theon Greyjoy comes in,
Game
ruins
of
the
Thrones.
fucking party, and kills a puppy. Fuck you, Theon. Fuck you.
I'm
You
glad
son
you
of a
lo-
bitch.
I am glad you lost your dick.
Yes! You son of a bitch! Oh my god. I'm like, okay, Keanu, I am all behind you on this. I don't care what you fucking do to this guy. Go full Bolton on him, alright? Destroy this family.
I don't understand what that guy's motive was. I don't want to sell you my Mustang, therefore I will hunt you down and kill your puppy and steal
Right.
your car.
It made no sense.
Yeah.
It's basically just like, oh, I have a rich dad, therefore I can just be a dick.
I'm bored.
Yeah, I'm bored. I'm gonna hunt down this guy, beat his ass, and kill his puppy, and steal his car. And what?
Yeah.
And then, they tried to make it more sentimental than that, like, oh, the puppy was a gift from his dead wife. But I don't care.
You don't need
You
that.
didn't have to tell me that at all. Just tell me dead puppy.
I
All right,
I
I'm
didn't
in.
even notice that. I didn't notice that. I
I
was
was
just
too
like,
busy crying.
yeah, pretty much.
Oh, God.
Would they do that?
I know.
You know they're going to show it in the movie.
Oh, God. That's
They're
going
going
to
to
be
show
watch
it in
that.
the movie.
I can't see that.
No.
God, poor puppy.
So, Mike, you're excited about this, but you didn't want to see the Equalizer. This seems like it's the
Oh,
same
no, no, no.
thing.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, right.
And no,
You
it
fucked with the wrong guy.
It is. Rob,
Is this
Except
Taken?
it's Keanu Reeves.
Is this Taken?
No.
No.
Rob-
Is this Homefront? Jason Statham?
it absolutely is. I agree with you. Ordinarily, I would not be excited for this. But fuck Theon Greyjoy, and don't you dare kill a fucking puppy. Damn it, that's why I'm behind this.
I mean, he was
So,
excited for the Equalizer. He was.
so the studio
Right?
hooked you with
Yeah.
a puppy death.
Yeah, I mean, and
That's pretty sad.
That is
And that
pretty
is
sad.
really, that's really dark.
The fact that they're gonna make you go see a movie because they killed a puppy.
yeah, I know.
think
But
about
no,
that.
but the fangirl is right. It's that I get so much more emotional when a pet dies than when a human dies because I fucking hate people. But
And I think we're also so much more desensitized to people dying on screen.
True.
And then, like, because animals, they don't kill animals that often.
Right. And an animal is.
Especially a puppy.
I know. An animal is, and this is what I've said before, an animal is inherently innocent. You know?
Yeah.
So are babies, and they kill babies. And
But-
we don't care as much about that. I mean, God.
You don't care about babies.
You heard it here first.
How
The
dare
Fangirl
you.
says, I don't care about dead
How
babies.
dare you?
No, I did not mean that.
Oh my god. Please, nobody bring up dead baby jokes.
Where's Ben?
I meant other things. Continue.
we need to give her a minute.
Baby hater.
So, I want to mention a few things. First off, this is being directed by David Leitch. Now, if you haven't heard of him, there's a reason for that. It's because, first, this is his directorial debut, and second, he's a stuntman. He has been a stuntman for many years. In fact, he's been a stuntman for pretty famous people, but he's never directed something before.
So it's his debut.
It's his debut. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about a stuntman becoming a director. I've never heard of a case of that in Hollywood before.
Well, if
you know?
actors can become directors, I think stuntmen can also become directors.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
This is true. However, actors are trained in how to not necessarily direct people. I mean, the common phrase in Hollywood is every actor wants to be a writer and every writer wants to be an actor, or every actor wants to be a director and every director wants to be an actor.
Bigger, better deal.
Yeah.
Everybody's after bigger, better deal.
Everyone wants to be something different. So all actors want to be the director. They want to be behind the camera instead of being directed the whole time.
I mean, but technically, stunt people are also directed all the time.
True.
And, I mean, maybe not, like, on the how they have to act emotionally necessarily, but, like...
Much more in the physical sense.
But the action
Right.
scenes should be phenomenal.
Right.
Oh, they should. Oh, yeah, right. The guy should know how to set up action scenes,
Yeah.
and he should know how to choreograph them.
Right. Yeah.
That should be good. Now, any other scene, that's going to maybe be left wanting. We don't know yet.
You don't
but
know.
It's Keanu Reeves. Guys, it's Keanu. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get that much emotion anyway. So.
You know,
There you go. Buzzing.
if to get back to the movie news, I just want to mention real quick that they did just greenlight Bill and Ted 3.
They've been talking about that for a long
But it's been
long
officially
time.
greenlit.
Long time.
Yeah. It's now, 20 years after the second one or something like that?
I think the second one came out in 91.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I listened to an interview of Alex Winter probably like 6-7 years ago, and he was talking about Bill and
I know,
Ted
they've been
3.
talking about it forever, but finally, 20 years later, when both actors are, and they're like their golden years, they're kind of like...
they got to be both pushing 50, right?
Oh, yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Now they're going to make another Bill and Ted. I'm like, okay, What is this? Bill and Ted apply for AARP? What do you... Sorry.
But Keanu is ageless, so it's okay.
No. Sean Connery is ageless, not Keanu Reeves.
That is true. Sean Connery is ageless.
But the other bit of news here, so we have on the rest of the cast, we have Alfie Allen, who is, of course, Theon Greyjoy from Game of Thrones, who...
Oh, that's why I had no idea what you guys were saying. I'm just like, what? Who? Okay.
Oh, okay.
Don't watch Game of Thrones? Come on.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Now, again, we all hate him on Game of Thrones, but I still think his performance is good on Game of Thrones. I still think he's a solid actor.
Yeah.
I mean, so you hate him more here, so...
Oh, I hate him even more here,
He
yeah.
killed a puppy, so it's all good. That's why he got cast, to kill the puppy.
And then also we have Willem Dafoe. And
That's right. He is in the trailer.
yeah, and I also think I saw in there Ian McShane. Now, do you guys know who Ian McShane is?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 I win. No.
Yeah.
What's that HBO Western he was on?
Deadwood.
Right,
Yes,
right.
he
Good
won,
show.
I think, a Golden Globe for Deadwood. Yeah. Now, he's been in other stuff. He's been in lots of movies, but most notably he was in...
Kung Fu Panda.
Yes. he provided the voice for Tai Lung in Kung Fu Panda. He was also in Pirates of the Caribbean. On Stranger Tide. He played Blackbeard.
I still haven't watched that one.
He was in he guest starred on a couple episodes of American Horror Story Asylum.
That's right. He was the Santa.
He was the Santa Claus.
The Santa killer, right?
Yeah. I've always liked Ian McShane. He's a very... And that was one thing I got excited for on Stranger Tides. I'm like, I would love to see Ian McShane as Blackbeard. That just sounds like really good casting. It's ended up being a bit of a letdown, but that was not the fault of Ian McShane.
Yeah, so was Pirates 2 and 3. So
Yeah.
That's why I have not seen the fourth one.
Nah. But admittedly, this movie has a fairly good cast behind it outside of Keanu. So...
I mean, he's not a great actor, but he gets the job done.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
He's gotten a lot of flack for some of the stuff he's done, but couple of my favorite films he's been in. I mean, the first Constantine film, I still thought he was a good Constantine. And also, he wasn't good in it, but I still love Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's still one of my favorite films.
Yeah, that was a remarkable English accent.
Oh, yes. There was a Watch Mojo, and they did the top 10 worst accents in cinema, and he was number 1. Up there was Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins.
Yep.
There was John Wayne as Genghis Khan.
What? Is that for real?
You've never heard of this?
No.
Oh
John
my God!
Wayne did a Genghis Khan?
The movie was called The Conquest or something like that. It was done back in the late '60s, and it was John Wayne as Genghis Khan.
Wow.
Yes, and he didn't even try to do an accent.
Yeah.
He was just American. It is ridiculously bad and epic.
Michael Caine's accent on that Steven Seagal movie on Deadly Ground.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess he's supposed to be from Texas or something.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
And he's a great actor,
He
but he
is.
cannot do an American accent.
He should just stick to being British.
You really should. You're Alfred. Just stick with that. Oh man. Well, apart from that, what I'm going to say about John Wick is, like you said, Rob, from outside appearances is a very generic, like any other type of these films. Like we've had a lot recently.
Taken, Jack Reacher.
Yeah, Jack Reacher, November Man.
Yep,
and
the one I brought up earlier was Homefront with Jason Statham.
Right, Homefront.
Yeah,
right.
That was
anything
bad.
with Jason Statham.
Right, but just because of what they're doing in the movie, I kind of want to see it because, again,
it's the puppy.
It's the puppy.
It's the puppy.
It's the puppy. I'm sorry. If it's all about a puppy, and I'll be selfish, it's a puppy. So we're gonna get off of that trailer into the next one, which, speaking of this genre, Taken 3.
21, he joins the army. At 23, he joins the special forces. He's a trained sniper, an explosives expert. No service record, no discharge record, nothing. This guy right here, he knows how to disappear.
Listen carefully, kid. Something terrible's happened to your mom.
Dad, what's going on?
Don't trust anyone.
Fall down your head.
I felt like I watched 2 trailers of the same thing in a row.
Well, when I saw the trailer, I was just like, this is kind of like The Fugitive.
I thought that too.
Yeah, right?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
There's no one being taken.
No, it
Yeah.
looks
They're
like
being
Femke Jensen.
hunted.
Yeah.
Femke Jensen got murdered in the beginning, and
Yeah.
looks like he
Right.
got framed for it.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So they're just keeping the name Taken, but
Right.
no one has been taken in this.
Just to keep the characters the
Right.
same.
His innocence was taken.
Well, I don't know if that. There's a kind of entendre there for a second, but.
Do you enjoy that the second or the E is a 3 backwards?
Yeah, God.
Clever.
I love that, right?
I kind of hate movies that do that. They did that with Transformers, where there was a 4 in the middle of it. I was like, fucking really? Like,
Yes, it's the Transformers.
yeah, they called it Transformers. I'm like, fuck you.
Fuck that movie. Fuck Mark Wahlberg.
Yes.
Oh my God, I found a Transformer. I'm supposed to be in Texas, but I got this Boston accent. Wicked awesome there.
I will quote The Happening up and down for you.
Oh God, what a terrible
What?
movie.
No!
Damn you, Zoe Deschanel. What were you doing there?
Oh, God. But anyway, about this. So, what's her name?
Femke Jensen.
I can never pronounce her name.
Famke.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Famke.
Wow.
I had no idea. She's actually pushing 50. I had
Get outta here.
Yeah.
Jean Grey. Just call her
I
Jean
call her
Grey.
Jean Grey. To look
She's
at her, you
gonna
wouldn't
be
know
gray
it.
soon.
Yeah, but she's turning 50. And she's supposed to be playing, like a 25-year-old. And she was like 47, 48 at the time of that movie. It's like, that is remarkable.
It's just like that girl from Clueless.
Which one? Stacey Dash?
Yeah.
She was like in her 40s or late 30s
When
when
she was-
she was in Clueless, right?
Yeah, when she was supposed to be a 16-year-old.
That's the
Dion.
No, I'm not thinking of.
Oh.
I can't remember her first name.
I know.
Cordelia from Buffy.
Yeah.
She's like she was in
Charisma
her
Carpenter.
Yeah, she was in her 30s
When she played
at
it.
least when
Yeah.
she was
Really?
on the show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Huh. That's
Yeah.
intriguing. yeah, so, I mean, she's supposed to be playing somewhere around the same age as Liam Neeson in this. Now, he looks much older than her, but...
But he's been through so much more.
Oh, I know. He's been through so much more. But in actuality, they are much closer than you would think. She looks like she's like 20 years younger than him.
She does not look like she would have given birth to Maggie Grace.
No, she doesn't.
That's right.
I said that back in the first movie. I'm like, this doesn't match up. But anyway, so in this, she dies really early in the trailer.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Spoiler. No.
Sorry, watch the trailers. Sorry.
Damn you, trailers. You gave too much away.
But then it's Liam Neeson on the run, so...
It's different.
It is different, but they're kind of harkening back to the first movie, where at the very end, he's on the phone and he says, good luck.
Yeah, I saw that. Right,
the guy said to him on the phone in the first movie. So he
Good
echoed
job,
the guy
Forrest
who he was chasing. So what they're basically saying is, oh, look, the roles have been reversed. Right. Which obviously that's the... You can tell that right away.
And it's like a...
It's a circle.
It's
a circle.
What's this shape again? I'm making it with my hand, but I don't know.
Let me raise my left hand, the one that makes the L, and make a circle with it. We love you, fangirl.
Yay.
In this, you have Forrest Whitaker, strangely enough, which I don't think he's been in either of the other films, has he?
No.
I haven't.
But
he's playing Tommy Lee Jones this movie.
Yeah, he's playing Tommy Lee Jones, right? Which, by the way, I would have loved Tommy Lee Jones in this part. He didn't have to be the same character from Fugitive, or was it U.S. Marshals was the other one?
Yep, U.S. Marshals was the sequel.
But it would have been the same character.
Oh, yeah.
But
I don't care!
But no, how badass of a crossover would that have been? If they could have gotten that guy who was from U.S. Marshals, that character, to be chasing around, Liam Neeson in this, that would have been a fucking cool crossover.
What, 25 years later? He's probably retired by now.
Oh, fuck that. He's still
busy making weird commercials or something.
Consultant.
What's that?
I'd say you could have come back as a consultant.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, but yeah, Kim brought up the point. Tommy Lee Jones makes really weird commercials right now. Like, he does commercials in Japan.
Yeah.
Have you seen these?
Really? No.
Yeah, and he sings in Japanese.
Oh, can you please pull this?
Yeah, I want to see this. I want to see this now.
I need to see this.
So while you're pulling that up, I'm going to list a couple more things about Taken 3.
Projectionist Productions, powered by Google.
There you go, there's that. Do you have it, Confucius?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, directing this is Oliver, and I don't think it's pronounced this way, but the last name is Megaton. That's how it's
I had to pause it a couple times. I was like, Megatron's directing this?
What? Oliver Megaton. I'm going to call him Megaton.
Yeah.
Now, he's the director of Taken 2. But admittedly, Taken 2 didn't get very good critical response.
I didn't see the second one. I was like, no, I fell for this with The Hangover 2. I'm not doing it
It was
again.
because they tried to make Maggie Grace like as badass as Liam Neeson. And a lot of people just couldn't get behind that. And I'm kind of with them. I don't buy her. I just don't. Because she's basically taking advice from her dad the whole time. And the whole thing, it basically just rehashed the first one, except that Maggie Grace is now free and she's following her dad's orders. Right. So.
Did they change the setting? Because I didn't see it.
It's still in Europe somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Europe is apparently a fucking tourist trap.
That's right, man. Don't go to Europe.
Don't go anywhere.
Leave your house.
Yes, don't go to Europe. You could end up being a human centipede. You go to Canada, you're going to be a human walrus. Just don't travel.
Yeah, think about this in Europe. So in Paris, you get kidnapped and sold into sex slavery.
I thought that was in South America.
What?
Huh?
Well, no, that happens in South America, but that's what happens to her in Paris.
Oh, in the movie.
Yeah.
I thought you meant real life. Sorry.
So that happens in Paris.
I'm sure it happens everywhere in real life.
So Paris, you get kidnapped and sold into sex slavery. Germany, you get turned into human centipede. Eastern Europe is hostile. So you're just fucked everywhere you go in Europe. Apparently, if you just stay in England, which there you have the movie Inbred, so don't even let me start on that. No one has seen Inbred. Okay, I'm sorry.
I apologize.
Imagine Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills Have Eyes in England.
Okay.
It's Inbred.
Okay. They have rural areas in England?
What? Oh, okay. Confucius has pulled up the clip for us of... Actually, would you mind sticking your mic next to that so our fans can listen to this?
Oh, we can't see it.
You lower it just a little bit. So yeah, they're just going.
Mm-hmm. I don't know the people, but I know the song.
Yes.
Just what? Hello, Tommy Lee. And just randomly in there. And the commercial keeps going.
I wonder if the listeners are going to be able to tell who is Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
You can guess.
Nah.
It'll be a game.
Sukiyaki. Probably not how you actually say it.
I don't know if he comes back into the rest of the commercial. Does anyone know what they're singing about?
I've heard this song before in English, but I can't remember what the words were.
I mean, I know the song, but I don't speak Japanese. So
Yeah, well,
I'm not
so yeah,
Japanese.
just a commercial entirely filled with what I assume is Japanese people, and then just in the
Yes.
middle, out of nowhere, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Hello.
Why not?
That was super random.
It is random.
I know.
I mean, I actually knew some of these like Japanese celebrities because I watch random Japanese game shows all the time. So like, yeah, that was kind of surreal. I don't know what just happened there, but I liked it. I think.
I hope the people in Japan know who Tommy Lee Jones is.
I don't know. I don't know. They might.
Some type of American.
They're a
cinema
big
over
fan
there.
of Fugitive, I guess. I don't know.
They like Tommy Lee Jones. There was this one episode where there was this one game show where they had Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith come on. They were promoting Men in Black 3. And it was on a show called VS Arashi, and it was great and awesome and amazing.
I wonder if
that was great.
I wonder if Tommy Lee Jones is to Japan what Jerry Lee Lewis is to France. Kind of like the same thing. Jerry Lee Lewis is apparently massive in France.
Yeah,
they love him over there.
You mean like David Hasselhoff is in Germany?
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
We would have gotten that.
There you go. I'm sorry. Wrong reference. I'm sorry.
I mean, at least David Hasselhoff is from Germany. Is Jerry Lewis from France?
I don't think so, but for some reason they love him over there. At least that's the stereotype, at least. But anyway, the last thing I'm going to mention about Taken 3 is that the screenwriter is Robert Kamen. Now, he was the original screenwriter for Taken, so they've gotten him back, which is a good thing. So
he didn't write the second one?
I don't know. That's look that up for us, Confucius. Who was the screenwriter for Taken 2? But he is the original screenwriter, and he's coming back for this, and that's a good thing. I'm glad that they have some semblance of, I should say...
Continuity?
Continuity. Thank you. As far as this goes, am I looking forward to it? I can say I am. Anyone else? I mean, it's... Oh, Confucius,
No,
yes.
Taken 2 screenwriter is Robert Mark Kamen.
All right, so same guy.
All right, so
All right.
he did the whole trilogy.
He did the whole trilogy. Good.
Yes.
And as far as this movie goes, I mean, I'm kind of done with the Taken series. The first one was admittedly a great film.
It's a hard watch, too.
It is. It really is. But Taken 2, I didn't see all of the film. And it didn't get very good reviews.
And that's why I haven't seen it.
So
Hangover 2,
I don't
thanks.
know. I don't know what they're going to do. Now, again, admittedly, they're doing something different with this. But I don't know. I just can't get into the series anymore.
Yeah, I'm not going to run out to the theaters and see it.
Right.
I'll probably just
No.
wait till Redbox or something.
Right.
I haven't seen the first two, so I'm probably not going to see this one.
Yeah,
Chances are very low.
I mean, the first one is still a great film.
I mean, if you wanted to watch something like that, I think you should go watch The Fugitive again or something.
Right.
Yes. I mean, that was a good movie.
I didn't kill my wife.
I also like U.S. Marshals. U.S. Marshals is
Oh,
good.
I love U.S.
it's
Marshals,
great.
yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.,
Jr.,
Wesley
yeah.
Snipes.
Wesley Snipes before he went to prison.
Yep.
Robert Downey Jr.
Before he went to prison.
He might have been in and out already by then.
Yeah, I don't
Really?
know.
He was pretty troubled in the 90s, so that movie came out probably 98.
Yeah.
So
Don't know. Anyway, moving on to our next trailer, which is The Interview.
Mr. Rappaport, I'm Agent Lacey with Central Intelligence. You two are going to be in a room alone with Kim.
We got the interview!
The CIA would love it if you could take him out. Take him out.
Like for drinks? Like to dinner? Take him out in the town?
No, take him out.
You want us to kill the leader of North Korea?
Yes.
So, we actually just saw this trailer the other night when we went and saw The Equalizer. And there was some great... I want to bring up there was some great poster art for this movie. It looks like one of those...
Old propaganda.
Old propaganda posters, that you would see amongst Russia and China and... Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Confucius.
Yes. Because all of you listeners can see this.
But the poster art is really well done. I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now getting off of that, as far as this goes, is anyone else getting sick of Seth Rogen and James Franco?
No.
No.
Am I the only one?
You're not alone there, but I mean, like, I do like the majority of the Judd Apatow crew.
As do I.
I did not like Neighbors. I thought it was highly overrated.
Well, it's because it was Zac Efron, right?
I don't know.
Now here's the thing: Zac Efron is actually improving, and Paul and I talked about this. He's being set up to be the next Justin Timberlake because he's getting better and better with each film. The look on your face is priceless.
Yeah.
No, but I mean this. Zac Efron, since his Disney days, has actually not gone the route of like Lindsay Lohan or Selena Gomez, where he's actually improving. Like, did you ever see 17 Again?
Yes.
I thought he was good in 17 Again, and he's been improving with his films. Again, I'm not saying I go out and watch him. I'm not saying I like him, but he's actually improving.
Yeah, that awkward moment was pretty good. I mean, you guys were talking about that last week.
Right.
It was good. It was good.
Right.
Check that out, please. It is good, man.
So, I'm not going to sit here and defend Zac Efron, but I do think he is
getting better.
He's getting better, yeah. So, as far as this goes, you mentioned the Judd Apatow crew, but I actually think it's the Evan Goldberg crew. Now, do you know what I mean by that?
Evan Goldberg is Seth Rogen's buddy, a long time.
You can track Seth Rogen's career to this guy.
They're writing partners.
Right.
Right.
It's been let's see, Knocked Up, Superbad, Green Hornet.
Skip that one, please.
Yeah, that was really not good.
Yeah. And there's many more, but Pineapple Express, anything with James Franco and
Did
Seth Rogen.
This Is the End?
Yes, he also did This Is the End.
I like that one.
Yeah, that one bothered me too. But
oh really?
Yeah.
I maybe those movies both got hyped up because I mean they both made good money, especially Neighbors made a lot of money. But I don't know.
I didn't see Neighbors, but I did see This Is the End. And I quite liked it. I thought. I mean, it was a good movie. Just that we watched at night with some pizza. Like it wasn't.
It's a good just sit back. I just want to kind of just have a good laugh movie. Not really think too much.
No,
and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. This guy Evan Goldberg, he's been kind of tracking this career, and admittedly, most of his films I've liked. I didn't really get behind Pineapple Express.
I like that one.
I didn't.
I just can't get behind stoner films too much.
Come
That's
on,
just
man.
me.
You just got killed by a Daewoo, bitch. That was great.
I don't know. Well, I just remember funny projectionist story. I remember walking into that theater with a cop during the opening night and smelling pot in the theater.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that was fun. Chief Mike.
He's still there?
No, well, he owns Gallery Pizza now. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, he bought Gallery Pizza.
How long has that been?
That's been about 1.5 years now.
Wow.
So for those of you who live in Delaware, Gallery Pizza is one of our local pizza shops, and a cop who used to work night shifts at Movies 10 ended up buying the place. So
pizza's okay.
It's all right.
I wouldn't buy the place.
I don't know. He thought it was a good venture. He bought it. Yeah. But anyway, so as far as this movie goes, I kind of like the premise. It's kind of funny. It's kind of like they did almost a live-action sillier, well, not a sillier version, but a live-action version of Team America World Police. Mm-hmm. When you think about what they're doing, it's obviously not Kim Jong-il, it's Kim Jong-un, but they got an actor coming in to try and help, the U.S. government. And I think that's kind of a cool premise,
I mean, like, you heard the news where Kim Jong-un supposedly said that if this movie is released, it is an act of war.
Yes, I've heard this. I'm like, really?
And I was like,
really?
Was Kim Jong-il all that upset when Team America came out?
No, he wasn't.
Maybe because it was puppets.
Maybe.
Yeah. He didn't take it seriously. I don't know.
I don't know. It's seriously.
Not that you should take it seriously.
No.
It's just a joke.
I mean, if it's that big of a deal, make your own film where someone from your country comes and tries and assassinates.
I'm sure
Obama,
they have.
and I'm sure it'll be shoddy production values.
They'll probably just ban it from North Korea. Like what was it? Like Borat was banned from whatever country that was supposed
Kazakhstan.
To be from. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was Kazakhstan or Uzbekistan. I forget which one it was.
I think it was Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah, Kazakhstan. I'm pretty sure that's
right. But yeah, Kim Jong-un. whatever, dude. You gotta gripe with this movie. They're just having fun, dude. It's your own damn fault for being a terrible leader. So I'm gonna see people marching up my front door now.
What's the address here again?
It's gonna be like Red Dawn 2 in your front
door. Wolverines!
I did not watch that remake 10 minutes in. 10 minutes in, I was like, done.
We actually sat through the whole entire thing. It was pretty funny.
Well, and we had mentioned this. Do you know why that movie was such a failure? It was. Well, go ahead. You can discuss it if you want.
We're not blaming it on Thor, are we?
No.
No, he was good.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the problems with you can go ahead.
Well,
Sorry.
what I heard was that it was the movie took so long in production. And by the end of when it was supposed to be released, they had to replace, it was supposed to be, the enemies were supposed to be Chinese. But then they had to actually dub everybody into being North Korean instead, because of the political implications of the movie or something like that.
And it turned out that some of the movie had been backed by Chinese investors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Right.
So that's
we can't have the enemy be China.
Smooth move, America.
So
the first one was Russia and Cuba, right?
The first one was, I think, just Russia.
Yeah.
And the first Red Dawn is still admittedly a good film. I mean, it's 70s, 80s nostalgia. There's a lot of camp to it.
Yeah.
But I still like the first Red Dawn.
It's not a bad movie. I mean, most of those guys were starting their careers.
Right. And admittedly, Russia was a threat at the time.
Right.
It was still the Cold War.
Yep.
China, while you might have theological or political differences with them, they're not an enemy right now.
Economy-wise, they're whooping our ass. But.
Yeah. But North Korea is. But North Korea couldn't launch an invasion to America. They couldn't do it. They can make all the empty threats they want. Oh, we have a nuclear bomb. That's funny. We got 10,000. It makes no sense for North Korea to invade. It makes no sense at all. Yet somehow they tried to pass that off as the main antagonists in this remake of Red Dawn. But anyway, we digress.
Because it obviously needed to be remade.
Yeah, it obviously needed to be remade. Yeah. Rebooted. Yes. Reboot corner. But as far as this goes, apart from the main cast, which is James Franco and Seth Rogen, we have
Lizzie Kaplan.
I am really liking her.
I like her
Lizzie
too.
Kaplan.
I've liked her a long time.
Yes.
Since
Have
Mean
you seen
Girls.
Party Down?
What is it?
Party Down.
Oh, that was that show on Stars. I didn't get Stars.
You need to watch Party Down.
She's on that show on Showtime right now. The
Masters of
Sex.
Masters of Sex. Right?
I've heard a lot of good things about that.
She's great though.
I love her.
Ever since Mean Girls.
Well, see, I've never seen Mean Girls, but what I have seen...
Well, she's in Cloverfield.
Right. I was introduced to her in Cloverfield, and I thought she was fantastic in Cloverfield. I loved that character.
Wasn't she on True Blood?
Yes.
Yep,
The first season of True Blood. Yes. But no, I really like her. I think she has very good comedic timing.
Yeah.
And she has she's kind of like it's odd to compare her to her, but I kind of find her like a Jennifer Lawrence. Like she's just kind of like someone in Hollywood who hasn't let the industry affect her. What did I say?
Industry.
The industry. She's someone who hasn't let the industry affect her too much. I feel like she's just very, just down to earth. And it's hard to interpret that from her films or her interviews, but she just seems like a cool person.
She does. I mean, to think of it, I think she would be on my girl crush list.
Along with
Kristen Bell. Kristen Bell's still at the top, but
That's a good choice.
Yes, right? Thank you.
That's a good choice.
I love Kristen Bell.
You're earning your good graces.
Yeah,
back
right.
Girl.
Have you ever seen Veronica Mars?
I have seen Veronica Mars.
Did you like Veronica?
It's an okay show.
Oh my gosh, it's the best show ever!
Now she hates you again.
My sister was huge on that show. I mean, I caught like an episode here or there. It's nothing to maybe.
You have to like watch all of it.
I love Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and she was great in that.
She was. But also the guy who wrote and produced Veronica Mars is the same guy who did Party Down.
Okay.
So it
all comes back.
Yes,
the circle
it does.
thing, right?
Everything in my little world is.
There you go.
You have to remember that the fangirl will tie anything back to Veronica Mars.
Yeah, I know. It's
anything.
I don't.
We could be talking about political issues in Russia. It will tie back to Veronica Mars.
I don't think there has been like an episode where I have not talked about Veronica Mars that I've been on. So.
When we do our drinking game, Veronica Mars gets to finish her drink.
There you go.
But anyway, as far as this movie goes, I'm looking forward to it. Now, admittedly, we had mentioned Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. Seth Rogen is actually co-directing this with him. It's his second film directing along with This Is the End. So it has that going for it. And, a lot of people enjoyed This Is the End, so we'll see how he does with this as well. It's always hard doing double duty, but if you have someone else co-directing, it's usually much easier. What's that?
You said duty.
Duty.
She's in 6th grade.
I think he had me trained for that. That's what happens at home. Duty. You said duty. Anyway, continue.
But anyone else have any thoughts about this? I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think it looks fun. And in the trailer you have, it's this. I forget the guy's name from Workaholics who was talking to Seth Rogen at one point.
Oh, Durs.
Yeah, Durs.
I don't know his real name.
Overdur.
That's just short for Anders.
Yeah.
Durs.
Yeah, but he's talking to Seth Rogen at some point. Apparently, they're heads of some interview show or some sort of, not a reality show, but they just cover a bunch of different stuff. They cover food, and you see them covering puppies. I think I saw Joseph Gordon-Levitt at one point.
I swear I saw a flash of him too.
Yeah, I think so.
He could be in it.
And of course, Rob Lowe playing himself. As far as this goes, it's a cool premise where you have this joke of a show, of this interview show, kind of like something like E! or Access Hollywood or something.
I thought it was like that they covered the fluff news, basically.
Yeah. Well, that's what E! and Access Hollywood and Entertainment Tonight, all those shows, that's basically what they are. They're covering stuff that no one really cares about,
right?
And they have a show like this, and for some reason, Kim Jong-un really likes their show, and they're like, bring them to North Korea, which, gosh, you're basically the only Americans outside Dennis Rodman to go there.
It was a good choice. I would have picked Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Isn't he like coaching their
Yes,
Olympic team?
Yeah, he's coaching their team. The Olympics won't have them though. The Olympics won't have the North Korean team.
They're gonna have their own Olympics.
Yeah.
That
that
they're too good for everybody else to.
They'll have the Axis Olympics. They'll invite Afghanistan and who else? Cuba. Just have full 4-nation playoff. I don't know. I can't think of any other Axis powers off the top of my head. There's no more Axis powers.
No, they've all disintegrated. There's
pretty much.
Thing is Axis powers.
No, yeah, I know. It's just like, wasn't that something that George Bush made up?
No. Well, there's
that wasn't.
There's
it's not 1945.
Okay, no, but the media refers to the new Axis, where it was Iran for a while and North Korea.
That's what I was.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. I was.
I know what you're talking about.
Not the World War II Axis. I mean the New World Axis.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was talking about.
I didn't know.
Okay, so anyway, moving on from that, we have a film which I'm gonna piss off Kim which is Oscar bait, which is The Theory of Everything.
The universe is expanding. If you reverse time, then the universe is getting smaller.
All right.
What if I reverse the process all the way back to see what happened at the beginning of time itself?
Wind back the clock.
Wind back the clock. Until you get the universe born from a black hole exploding.
It's called motor neuron disease. Life expectancy is 2 years.
The brain. What about the brain?
The brain isn't affected. Your thoughts won't change. It's just no one will know what they are.
I could walk out, but I won't.
If you don't get up, I won't come back here again. Ever.
I wish someone.
I thought the same thing.
She doesn't get pissed off because it's an Oscar bait movie. It's when you use the term.
I know.
She doesn't like the term.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna keep using it because this film is Oscar bait.
Whatever.
It's Oscar worthy, Mike. Let's go with that.
That's better.
Yeah.
I think Thank you.
Yeah, we've been through this, and he just refuses to acknowledge Kim's disapproval of the term.
I'm gonna keep using the term. Don't kick me. Anyway, so this film I'm really excited for.
It looks really good.
It looks really good. I mean, this performance is kind of. You remember the movie we saw either last year or 2 years ago at Wilm Film, the one with Helen Hunt and the guy who was a palsy victim? What was that called?
28 sessions?
Sessions.
The
Sessions. Yeah, whereas it was this guy who gave an astounding performance where he was a guy who was either palsy or polio or something like that. And he was confined to a bed or a chair the entire movie.
Had he couldn't spend too much time outside of like this iron lung thing.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
He couldn't. He was like paralyzed, so he had to like lay in the bed. I don't think he could really move anything at all except his head, I think.
Right. That's basically it. So you're gonna have a performance like that in this movie, where you have this kid.
Eddie Redmayne.
Is that his name?
He's the Les Mis guy, right?
Yes, I know he was in Les Mis, but I didn't see Les Mis.
I didn't either, but I think that's his name. Hold on.
He is doing a pretty convincing Stephen Hawking in this. And, you know, there's going to be backlash to this film because, again, Stephen Hawking's been getting a lot of flack recently because of his, you know, stances on, you know, being vocal against Christianity and stuff like that. So I'm sure there's going to be protests against this film. You know, like, oh, you're touting this, you know, revolutionary view and the Big Bang view. I'm like, just fuck you. Can't you tell the story of the man who, for all intents and purposes, is one of the most brilliant men of our time? You know? Like, if it wasn't for his condition, I still regard him as such. I compare him to Einstein. He is one of the most brilliant men of our time. It just so happens that he has a condition that keeps him confined to a wheelchair.
I think people regard him that way anyway. Like,
well, no, some don't. I mean, it's a sad thing where people look at him and they're like, "Oh, he can't be that smart." Which is terrible. No, it happens. It's
the world is full of stupid people.
It is.
Okay, I'm like,
I don't think if he was writing down right now, we'd all be like, "That must be Stephen Hawking." Like, that poor man just lives a terrible life.
Yeah, that's true.
But I love what this story is doing. You know, it's detailing his worries of, you know, am I going to be able to tell the world my ideas and share my mind with the world with this condition? Yeah. And it's a great story. I love some of the things that come up where they give him the computer and the wife is like, oh, it's American. Like, that's pretty good. And admittedly, and I had brought this up with someone after I saw the trailer, the actor doesn't have to do. I mean, it's going to be a very physical performance, but later on, he doesn't have to do any talking. It's just going to be the computer.
I don't think there's going to be much of him in the chair until probably maybe like the last half an hour.
Probably,
or so.
That's probably right. Yeah.
I mean, it looks by the judging from the trailer, it's more or less the romantic story about him and his wife. And his wife, standing by him through all that.
Right.
Yeah. Are they still married?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That would be sad.
Thank you, Confucius.
There was actually another Stephen Hawking movie made in 2004 by BBC named just its title Hawking, and the reason I bring it up was because it was played by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh. Bring it back to Benedict Cumberbatch.
Another circle.
Drink.
I'm sorry.
Now, I do want to mention the director of this film, and his name is James Marsh. Now, he hasn't done a whole lot, but he did direct a film back in 2008 called Man on Wire, which was a documentary, a British documentary, that ended up winning the Academy that year for Best Documentary Feature. So this guy is an award-winning director. He's done a lot of very good documentaries, and has, in fact, won an Academy Award before. So I like that he's taking this on. I think it's a biopic or a biopic, whatever you want to call it. It's an interesting stance on what's happening here. It appears that everyone admires this guy. You know, everyone who encounters him is saying, we want to help you, but it's just he's beyond being helped. You know, and from the rest of the cast, I also saw the guy who plays what's his name, Lupin.
Yeah. It's Professor Lupin.
David Thewlis. David Thewlis. Yeah, there you go.
David.
And we also have Emily Watson. Yes, Confucius.
So, Stephen Hawking was married to Jane Wilde, 1965, but they divorced in 1995.
Sadness.
And then he remarried to Elaine Mason, 1995, but divorced her in 2006. So he is an eligible bachelor.
Eligible bachelor. Ladies.
That just puts a damper on that romantic story.
Yeah, I know.
Shouldn't have looked that up.
Sorry,
everybody. But also Emily Watson is in this. Now, do you know who she is?
Mm-hmm.
She's done a lot of work. She was in she was in Red Dragon. She was also in
Punch Drunk Love.
Was she in that?
Yep.
I know she was in Equilibrium. I'm trying to think of something else. But she has and also most recently The Book Thief. She was in The Book Thief. That came out like last year. But she has a very odd look about her. She kind of reminds me of Helena Bonham Carter. Kind of just like a macabre-looking woman. But anyway, does anyone else have anything to bring up about The Theory of Everything?
Nope.
No?
Want to see it.
Want to see it?
That's it.
Yep. So that's what I want to see. Yeah, this I think has a real possibility of being an Oscar contender later on.
I mean,
so long as they don't, ruin the execution. Everything here has a semblance of being a great film.
I've looked at the lineup. There's not much that looks like that rings Oscar. This one's gonna be an Oscar worthy one.
Right.
So I don't know. That definitely is gonna get nominated.
Oh,
I'm calling it now.
Yeah, it's getting nominated.
It's getting nominated.
I haven't even seen it's getting nominated.
It's getting nominated.
Good. All right. I mean, now
it's coming out in December, right? That's when they all come out.
Well, they all come out around this time. Now,
Yeah.
to be fair, the same thing happened last year with the movie Diana, and if you recall, Diana got panned by critics. It's not necessarily every biopic is going to get nominated,
right?
But the execution still has to happen. But
I feel like Diana also didn't get a lot of press, did it?
It got a decent amount of press.
Maybe it's just where I was.
Yeah, didn't the trailer for the Stephen Hawking movie though throw up all the International Film Award?
Yeah, they always do
Yeah.
that. They throw up the logo
Yeah.
for the Toronto Film Festival
Right.
and the Cannes Film Festival, and all these
They
different
won
festivals.
awards, therefore it's
Right.
good.
Yeah.
Grand jury selection and the Palme d'Or and all those, it's, which is great. It's great that it won those, but if it makes it all the more weary that it's going to be a massive letdown when you see all that stuff on there. It's like you're going with that mindset of this is the big artsy film, And seeing those, I know some people who see those awards and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to see that now."
What? Who does that?
Which is awful.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, you mean you see all the logos and you don't want to see the movie?
Yeah, basically.
Why?
Because those are not the
Just
types
too
of
hipster to see it.
No, those are just not the types of movie for me. I like to see, the stupid movies where I don't have to think, where I don't have to necessarily feel that much.
And I'm all for that too, but I still love the artsy films.
Some of those artsy films go to those festivals so major studios can pick them up.
This is true. This is very true. Otherwise, they won't get a major release.
Right.
Right.
But
So.
yeah, it's just I don't like to think that much. I think we've discussed this. When I see a movie, it's my escape. I don't want, it's like everything is shitty outside already and I have to think about other things. When I see a movie, I want to be just in a world where crazy impossible things happen that I don't have to care about,
And that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
That's just me.
And speaking of that, we're going to get right into the genre where they cater to that. We're going to get right into horror because guess what? It is October, and we're going to start talking horror.
Which is my least favorite genre.
But it should be. It should be your favorite.
It's my least favorite, too.
Oh.
And this is coming from the guy wearing the Freddy Krueger t-shirt.
So the first one we're going to talk about is The Houses October Bill.
Tell me about yourself and what are we doing?
You want my name? My name is Zach. You've known me for 20 years, Mikey. I rented an RV. I want to find the most extreme haunted house in the world.
What is an extreme haunt? I don't understand how far you really can go on without hurting somebody.
So a couple things I want to say about this.
Found
First.
footage.
Yeah, found footage. Right off the bat, found footage. Because so many horror films are doing it now. But second, the Goddess and I had talked about this. Whenever we go to something like Frightland or Pennhurst or Eastern State, whatever it may be, we always think in the back of our head, is there anyone in here who actually is a killer? They basically bring on volunteers for these places. They don't pay them much.
They don't do background checks?
I don't know. That's a good question. I remember
I think of it more. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think of it more like when you're walking through the woods or an open field, and anyone can literally walk into where you are. Like, I'm going to kill these people, and then no one will know.
Right.
More so than you're walking through a house. That's
right.
a little less likely.
Right. But if you're in like the maze at Frightland, or if you're in some of the open parts of Penhurst where there's all the woods, right?
They could just kill you and just put you on the side like another
exactly.
body.
Right.
You're just part of the
and no one will be any of the wiser until the next day. We're like, oh,
man, that guy looks really dead.
That's right.
Dude, the effects here are amazing.
Dude, touch the blood.
It's warm, dude. Whoa.
You can do it.
Go ahead. That's Confucius.
You guys said it.
Okay, sorry.
So if I was a murderer, that's what I'd do.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
God. So,
everybody's like, I'm going to go get an application and kill.
I mean, I'm sure that they have to run background checks, at least, so no one's diddling the kittles.
You could just walk up, though. It doesn't...
So you're saying you could just walk up with a costume and then people would just automatically assume you're.
No, but I don't know if you could just walk up. But imagine
maybe the people working there would be a little suspicious, but everyone else going through.
Imagine
no
if you
stayed there, right?
Yeah.
Stayed in the.
I mean, you have to sneak in there though. But how would you get out of line without anybody noticing you?
Well, you know what you could do, I'm just thinking off the top of my head. If you were on the hayride at Frightland, you could hop off the hayride in the middle section where there's nowhere is, hide in the woods, and you're done. There wouldn't be anyone around to catch you.
Or you could just park your car somewhere, walk through
the woods,
to the hayride, and then murder someone.
Yeah.
I feel like we've given way too much thought to this.
Right now, somebody is out there taking notes.
Wow, this is good.
Why didn't I think of that? They will all pay.
Sorry. Continue, fangirl.
Oh, no. I was just thinking, are we just talking about the woods? We weren't talking about the houses themselves?
I was more about the woods.
Because I was thinking, even with
spaces.
the houses, right? They're so dark.
Mm-hmm.
If you go by yourself, you just walk in and then kind of just go off to the side.
Right.
And stay
you could
there.
hide in a
You
dark
could,
corner.
you could hide in a dark
Wait till
corner.
your eyes adjust and then do whatever you
They
want.
usually purposely put you in groups, though.
They do.
They don't usually let you walk in there by
but
yourself.
If you don't know anybody, they're not going to be paying attention to you.
They're not going to care.
Yeah.
Hey, where'd that stranger go?
Exactly.
Who cares?
One guy back there.
So
was creepily looking at everybody.
With that big, huge knife in his hand.
Yeah, he had a machete in his back pocket. I think it was a real machete.
No, it's okay. It was just part of the costume.
Yeah. So, bringing it back to this trailer.
What are we talking about again?
The houses October built. So
we're planning our next murder.
Yeah, exactly. The premise of this, I am actually really intrigued by, because it's the idea of, it's this group of filmmakers going out and saying, what is the scariest haunt in America? And how far can you take it? Now, there's actually a cool thing that's going on in LA. It's a traveling kind of haunted attraction, and I forget what it's called, but you basically sign a waiver when you go in.
Oh,
You
I know the one you're talking about.
You have to sign a waiver at Penhurst, I think. No, not Penhurst. Eastern State.
Oh, Eastern State. Okay. I haven't been to Eastern State in a long time.
I would never go anywhere where I have to sign a waiver for.
Yeah.
No.
Well, this one, and I wish I could recall the name of it, but at this one you go in and it's like a camp out. You go in for a night. It lasts all night.
Oh, God.
And they basically say to you, after you sign your waiver, anything can happen. They will touch you. They will grab you. They will kidnap you. They will tie you to things.
Well,
yeah.
my cousin did that in New York.
Is that the one where you have to wear your pajamas or something, just your underwear, and then go in the dark?
No, that happens. They basically tell you
that. You can do that.
Yeah.
It's like the whole naked and afraid theory. Like you have to strip down and then you can wear underwear or you can be naked.
And technically you're not allowed to retaliate.
You cannot retaliate.
That's just wrong.
Right.
I don't understand why anybody would put
here's the
themselves through
thing.
that.
And here's what they tell you. If you get kidnapped and tied up, you can try to escape, but odds are you can't escape.
I'm not signing that.
Yeah, there is no way I would do that.
There better be something down there to be like, you can only fight back if you are attempted to be raped.
Give you a safety word. Banana! Banana!
Don't want no more.
That's the long Swiss word or
from
whatever.
From Club Vandersex.
Euro trip.
Oh, did you say?
Did you see Flugenfahrtensutten? Yes, for the love of God.
Bring out the Flugenfahrtensutten.
Hans Gruber. Flugen.
Anyway. what my cousin actually did, it was in New York. It was only like a few hours or something you could go through. But you go into this building by yourself. And
yourself?
Yeah, you go by yourself and they can do anything. She said like they there was like another like victim with her that was part of like the cast or whatever. But like they like locked her in a box. The one guy put like a bag over her head or something. And they were like, if it gets like too extreme, you can't take it. You can say like stop or something, and then they'll take you out. But like you're literally paying to go in there and like
get freaked out,
get tortured.
Somebody has to have died by now.
They're just not telling anyone. So you have these extreme haunts. They do exist.
But the thing about this movie, it doesn't. I like the concept. It doesn't seem like they're actually taking these extreme haunts that we're talking about into account.
They're not. It's more like the ones that we usually go
like they're
to.
not really doing research on an extreme haunt.
Right.
And it doesn't look promising.
Well,
it's not what I want it to be.
Here's what I thought behind it. So you have this group of filmmakers, and they go out to the middle of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, somewhere where they say this thing is going to be occurring, and it's only them. So it's kind of like, imagine if there's a group of these actors who in fact were killers, who like kind of spread amongst different haunts and tried to find people like this and like single them out. So basically it's a group of serial killers, and they're trying to pick people apart who are looking for that extreme haunt. That's what I think is going on here.
They looked like there was some type of supernatural thing going on, because when the chick got on the bus,
and she yelled,
she screamed, and it messed up the camera.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's it too. But go ahead.
I don't really see serial killers working in that big of a group, though.
No.
They usually tend to be two at most.
Yeah.
There's a website for that. They can find each other.
Right.
And when they do work together,
Serialkillersmeet.com.
I mean, there's sicker shit out there where like pedophiles find each other online. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
It's kind of like playing that the live action role playing game. It's like, oh, well, let's all meet together and go for a quest.
Oh, the LARPing, yeah.
A murder quest.
A murder quest.
Or it's one of those like those like real slasher films where it's like where they actually kill people.
A snuff film?
A snuff film.
There you
That's
go,
what I
snuff
meant
film.
to say.
Snuffs were the first found footage. They were.
But I don't think that's what they're doing with this movie.
It,
I would like it better if it was about someone actually killing people.
Yeah.
But
I
like
feel
you said, it looks like more
supernatural.
Something else. Like I don't think it's actual killers.
People.
Yeah, when I watched it, I was like, this has got to end like April Fool's, right? Where you're just like, nope, nobody actually died. Just kidding. You all fell for it.
Nice.
But then they did the chick on the bus, and I was like, oh, I guess not.
Yeah.
I do like some of the lines that early on when they're going through the haunts, the whole like To Catch a Predator line.
Yeah, that was
made me
good.
laugh.
I gotta
go. But I'm gonna say, I want to see this. I mean, I know it's found footage, and I've been, kind of decrying that genre recently, but I still am very intrigued by this movie. My word, intrigued. I'm sorry. But
it's intriguing.
It is. It really is. And I want to see this. It looks like one of the few promising horror films of this season.
I don't think it looks that promising.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like...
I think that if it was what you were trying to describe, it might be...
Wait, the network of serial killers?
Maybe not a network.
Okay.
Maybe like one... or two.
A couple.
Yeah.
Or a family or something.
Yeah. That I could go for. Like a House of a Thousand Corpses kind of thing.
Right.
But if it was that movie, I would think it would be more promising. But as it stands, I don't think it is.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, we're going to move into our final trailer for the night. And it is another horror film, which, oddly enough, has been getting a lot of bad press online.
It's more of a comedy.
It is more of a comedy, but I'm listing it as horror, which is L.A. Slasher.
Reality TV, the birthplace of the moron. Some of us laugh with them, but most of us at them.
I mean, these people are stupid.
We all know you're not famous for your talents.
I think they're pretending to be real, but they're really not real.
Everyone is so sick and tired of seeing your stupid face.
No joke, all right? The LA slasher is for real.
A looming fear increases that the slasher's antics may be building to a climax.
Famous for being famous? I think it's time these people learn the true price of fame.
Yeah, definitely comedy. Is that Andy Dick in the end?
It is Andy Dick. Like Andy Dick is providing the voiceover for the slasher.
You hate reality, right? Me too.
When I think slasher, I don't think Andy Dick. It's like the farthest thing I think of. But, admittedly, what this movie is doing, I kind of like it. Because you know what it reminds me of? God Bless America.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see that movie? You watched it with me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen God Bless America?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, it was a movie directed by, of all people, Bobcat Goldthwait. Okay.
He's great, man.
Came out about...
He's made some crazy shit.
I think it came out in 2011. It was about a guy who finds out that he has brain cancer.
Okay.
And he's basically going to die within a few months. So he goes home and he just starts getting sick of everything that he sees on television and movies. He's sick of his wife. He's sick of his kid. And he basically goes and says, you know what? Assholes need to die. What he ends up doing is he ends up finding people who are just like the end-all be-all worst in society. Like, he goes and he massacres a bunch of Westboro Baptist Church people. And then he finds...
The opposite of Red State?
Yeah, yeah, opposite of Red State. Then he goes and finds like one of the girls from Sweet 16, who's just a bratty bitch who didn't accept her car, and he beats the hell out of her. Just basically finding the people who he thinks are just the end all be all worst. Like he goes and hunts down a guy who's like Rush Limbaugh, and kills him. And then he gets a sidekick girl who kind of is following his lead on these terrible people in society. And it looks like the LA slasher is kind of following that. It's the idea of celebrities who are, well, I should say, reality stars are not anything like, why do we like them? It's the idea of famous for being famous. There's no intrinsic value to these people. They bring nothing to society, so why do we worship them? And the thing is, we shouldn't. And this slasher is saying, you know what? Fuck these people. It's the same thing with God Bless America. It's over the top, but I can kind of get behind it.
Right. Yeah, who doesn't want to see Honey Boo Boo get murdered?
Karen definitely wants to because she hates babies.
That's right. She's a baby hater. Die.
Yep.
Die, toddlers and tiaras, all of you. Burn in hell. Set you ablaze.
Now, in this film, we have, again, Andy Dick, but we also have Dave Bautista.
I saw that. I was like, Bautista's in this?
Straight off of his Drax performance.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he really quick flash from him. And we also have Danny Trejo. I don't know if you saw him in it.
Yeah.
Machete. And, which, I like both of them. So, hopefully... Again, the movie's been getting flack online just because they think it looks extremely corny and way too far over the top. But
I think that's what they're going for.
Which is what I'm saying. You know what? I can get behind it for that. Kind of like something like a slasher version of Crank, And if that's what they're going for, I would freaking love that. And I can only pray they go down that road. I can't tell if the slasher is wearing a mask.
Yeah.
I think
it looks like he is.
Yeah. Or really botched plastic surgery.
Right, which it's LA. That could be the case.
Yeah, right.
How many reality shows are based out of LA, aren't they?
A lot.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot.
Where's Honey Boo Boo at? That's not LA.
That's
maybe just the Kardashians.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also all the Real Wives.
Housewives.
Beverly Hills.
Housewives.
The Hills and all that. Yeah.
Teen Mom.
Yeah, Teen Mom. Oh my God, Teen Mom.
Oh man, they're gonna gut some pregnant chicks on this.
Oh, they will. Oh, they will.
Oh my God, that's just wrong.
And the fangirl will love it.
Babies dying. They don't even get born. Aborted. Job accomplished.
Oh my God. Did you write this movie? Yeah, I mentioned he looks like he has a mask, but I mentioned because maybe Andy Dick isn't playing the role, but I do like the imagery of the slasher going into a club and just like dancing with a bunch of people. I just like that imagery because he looks like he's a fun slasher. He's not like.
Let's party before we all die.
Yeah, he's not Jason. He's not Michael Myers. He's gonna go to the club and party with you. He's gonna kill you, but he's gonna have fun with you.
Shot, stab, shot, stab, stab.
Exactly.
Good
so
times.
he's just a psychopath.
What would you like? A Bloody Mary? All right.
That line's coming.
I apologize for that. So again, I'm looking forward to this. I think it'll be fun. Now, it debuted at I forget which film festival it debuted at last month, but it's looking to get a major release now. So hopefully it'll get picked up before Halloween. I don't know if it will, but I'm looking forward to this. I really want to see this. This is the perfect time of year to release a movie like this because right now there aren't many horror films coming out. Like we have The House is October Built, but then later this season. This is the first time in a while we're not getting a Paranormal Activity film, which I'm actually thankful for. But I think I think they're pushing that to January, which is the dumping ground.
Yeah.
Because they did that last year with the marked ones.
It's because The House of October Built is by the same producers as Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
So
fuck this then.
And there's nothing else about this. I mean, I just gotta say, yeah, I hope this is good. It looks like a lot of fun, and hopefully it'll get picked up for a major release. Well, we're going to get off of the trailers and we're going to get into our feature presentations. Now, there is a lot coming out for the next few weeks, but we're going to get into next week. The first one being, or I should say, actually this coming week, which is, first one being is Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. Right.
Just read the book.
Right, read the book.
Don't see the movie.
Yeah, there's an HBO special back in the day. It was animated.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I saw that in elementary school.
Yep, I did too.
That was a great.
It's on HBO all the time.
It was a musical as well. There's a couple songs in it.
There's a couple songs.
Yeah.
He goes to the dentist. They start singing about it.
Mm-hmm. And he has a song with his brother or something. And
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw that.
No, that was fun. That was a fun little animated movie. Yeah. But anyway, as far as this goes, yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about this. I haven't even actually seen it advertised that much for the last month or so. Have you really?
I just
maybe
remember,
not a lot.
Yeah, I haven't really seen too much advertised. I just remember there was like the big poster after we left.
The Equalizer.
Yeah. And someone who was behind me just looked at the poster and was just like, Jennifer Garner looks kind of psychotic. So I'm like, okay.
Oh no, she's married to Batman. That would explain a lot, you know.
They seem to have a relatively good relationship.
No, everyone says they have a great relationship.
Yeah, and they're really cute.
They fight all the time, just like in Daredevil. On the play school. Yeah.
Think about that.
The playground fight.
I mean, that's the weirdest thing. It's like, that was a celebrity relationship that worked, and they met on a pretty bad movie. Maybe that's the way it works.
They met before that on another bad movie, Pearl Harbor.
Jennifer Garner wasn't in Pearl
Yes,
Harbor.
she is. She is in that movie. She is not the main actress because Kate Beckinsale is the lead, but she is one of her friends in that movie.
Oh, she is?
Yep.
Oh, that's
I
right.
remember that.
Oh, I forgot about that. Sorry, I blocked a lot of Pearl Harbor out of my mind.
Well, you
have
should.
to forgive me. But as far as this goes, yeah, like you're all saying, this has nothing to do with Alexander. This is Steve Carell's movie. It's all about him having a bad day, and then his wife having a bad day, and the whole family having a bad day.
Well, I think the trailer is like he gets a lot of bad luck all the time, and now the family is sharing in his terribleness.
But then he gets a good day when everybody else gets a bad one.
But that's just it. This is about Alexander and his terrible day, not about the family's bad day, not about Steve Carell's bad day.
Maybe at the end he realizes when other people has a bad day, that means he also has a bad day, so he'd rather have bad days so that everyone can have good days.
Oh. Well, that's the Meg. No.
Sad.
Yeah, I will take it. I will take the bullet for everybody else.
No, that's the Meg philosophy from Family Guy, which is, this family is so dislocated, this family is so terrible that I have to be a punching bag for the family to work.
I'll take the shit.
Yeah, that's an awful philosophy, and you could be right. You could be right, but that's terrible if that's what happens.
Yeah.
But we're gonna move on from that into Dracula Untold. Now we talked about this about a month or so ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, and this has, I've been talking about this one for a while. I remember we'd actually brought it up in the movie news about a year ago, because initially I really didn't like the premise behind it. The idea of, they're making Dracula into a family man. He's sitting there, he has to protect his family.
He's a warrior in this movie.
Well, he had always been a warrior. I mean, he was a...
He's got battle armor on.
Yeah, he was a lord. He had to protect Transylvania, and that was even in Bram Stoker's Dracula. That was the case. But he was doing it for his country, but also for the woman he loved, not necessarily like a family man. It's strange how they're doing the take with this. They're basically saying, he became a vampire beforehand. When he originally... The tale of Vlad the Impaler is a true one. The guy who went out and fought the invading Islamic armies and would impale people on stakes and then presumably drink their blood. That story was true. And then they based the story of Dracula off of that. Well, he became a vampire after the fact, not before the fact. So I understand what they're going with here. It's the guy who's doing whatever he can to protect his family. So I don't know what's going to happen afterwards. It looks like everyone lives through this. It looks like the wife lives through it. And, she like turns on him because of the monster he's become. So it's like, I just don't know. I don't like what they're going with. I don't like the idea of they're making him into the anti-hero instead of the villain who you can kind of sympathize with, I
don't like that they're making it like an action movie.
That too.
Instead of...
That too. I mean, if you're going to tell the origin story of Dracula, it is going to deal a bit with war, but it's not going to be all action.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like they did that with... Of course, they did it with Van Helsing.
Ugh,
they did
terrible movie.
Oh yeah, they did it.
Vampires have gargoyles for babies.
What?
I hate that movie.
How does that work? And Frankenstein brings them all to life. Okay.
Yeah. And then he learned to read. He educated himself in the sewers.
Now that's the only thing that actually kind of was true. Frankenstein in the original Mary Shelley's book was actually very smart.
You mean the monster?
Oh, sorry, Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been guilty. I'm trying not to be guilty of that. Yeah, Frankenstein's monster.
I do it too.
Yeah,
it's easy.
But he was actually an incredibly intelligent monster. He had debates with Frankenstein, and that was something that I liked that they did with Van Helsing. One of the few things they got right. Everything else was pretty much bullshit. But
right.
Yeah, and then other movies like that where you had like The Mummy, which kind of turned into a big action film.
I never liked that
But
series.
I liked the first Mummy. After the first one, they were crap, but I still do like the original.
But you still watch them on TV.
I still watch them. I know.
All of them, more than just the first one.
AMC plays it a lot.
They really do. Yeah.
I mean, I like Rachel Weisz.
I love Rachel Weisz. She is really good.
Yeah, I like her.
But as far as this, ever since seeing the first trailer, it's been kind of growing on me. The guy who's playing Dracula,
Luke Evans.
Yeah, he's actually giving what looks like a pretty solid performance. It looks like he's having a good time with it.
He's pretty cool. I like him.
And the more and more I see previews, the more I'm intrigued. And I think I may want to see this. As much as I hated on it originally, I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm kind of turning. I might want to see this.
I don't know, maybe, but I read something the other day that this is Universal's Iron Man, and they're playing in a whole monster universe.
You know what? I had heard something.
Yes.
Yeah, no. He's not wrong. I had heard that when we originally did the movie news on this, because they had planned on introducing like witches and ghouls and
other types of
other types of monsters in this movie. And so Universal wants to kind of bring back the old guard of, like all the old monster films.
They still have the rights for all those.
Oh, yeah, they still have all the rights, and they want to do it in this style. Now, if that leads to, like, the old Monster Clash films, I could get behind that. I could have a lot of fun with that.
I could go for a remake of Monster Squad.
Oh, yeah, it would basically be Monster Squad, but done, like, with a lot better production values, and, and... Maybe they're not fighting together, but they're I don't know if there's like a group of evil doing something. We don't know what, but I could get behind that. That could be really fun. So yeah, it'd be Universal's Avengers.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't want those worlds clashing with one another.
I don't know. It just seems like that idea seems okay, but. Not this movie.
Yeah, if this is their Iron Man and this is the world they're setting it up, I don't know how it's going to work out with everything else.
Exactly. Like, I don't see how this can set up that world.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
You know, if it would be great if at the end of this movie there's like an after credit scene where Frankenstein, not Frankenstein's monster, but Frankenstein is waiting there for Dracula as he walks back to his castle. He says,
"We're putting a team together."
Yeah, yeah. I'm here to tell you about the Vlad Initiative. Oh my God, be fucking badass. So anyway, getting off of that movie, there's one that we didn't talk about. We actually didn't get to the trailer, sadly, which is The Judge. Now, this has been advertised a lot recently, to the point where, you can tell they're trying to pump this up for Oscar season. You know, a really good cast behind this. You have, obviously, Robert Downey Jr., Robert Duvall, right?
Yep.
And then Thornton.
Billy Bob
Billy Bob Thornton, yeah. I almost said Sling Blade for a second. Wait, what?
I think Forrest Whitaker's in that too, isn't he?
Is he?
I swear I saw Forrest Whitaker in that trailer.
He could be.
I can't remember.
This has an interesting...
Fact checker fell asleep.
Oh, fact checker fell asleep.
It's a riveting conversation. Right?
This gave me too much beer.
Yeah, too much pumpkin. The story behind this is a intriguing one, where it's, the son who's a defense attorney who is kind of like a Johnny Cochran, where you only hire him if you're guilty, but he'll still get you off, And the father, being a judge, has kind of disowned him, but now the judge has hired him on to defend him, which in turn means he's probably guilty, but he's trying to...
It doesn't look like that was what was the premise. I think he wanted to defend his father, because his father was just like, if any good lawyer, and I mean honest, would be able to see the truth, should be able to get me off, because I don't think his father necessarily was all completely on board with getting his son to defend him.
He didn't seek out his son to do it. I think he just...
that's intriguing. Well, how has it come to this, then? If he didn't want his son to defend him...
You have to watch the movie and find out.
That's the hook?
Yeah, okay, then.
How are this father and son going to reconcile their relationship?
Right.
Exactly.
In a courthouse.
Right. Because when you watch in the trailer and in the TV spots that I've seen, it looks like that the son is trying to bring up stuff about his personal life that will help defend him, but the father doesn't want him to bring it up.
Yeah, he sent him to juvie.
Yeah. And there's a decent amount of good dialogue between Duvall and Downey, where it's hey Dad, the penitentiary's that way, and stuff like that. This I'm excited for it. For not having reviewed the trailer, everything I've seen for this so far, it's a simple premise that could become extremely intricate in a hurry, and it's stuff like that I like. It's something that gets you on board and then really pulls you in with how complicated it can quickly get.
Sounds like something you would hate.
Actually, I was kind of looking forward to it.
Okay.
It looks like one of those movies that's going to be funny, but not on purpose.
Right,
yeah.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so no Forrest Whitaker, but Vince D'Onofrio and Melissa Leo. And for some reason, Dax Shepard. So it could be funny.
Dax Shepard?
Interesting. That's a curveball.
Now I remember the trailer, but I think Dax is like the attorney he goes with, and Robert Downey Jr. is like, no, I got to be on this council.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm going to circumvent the fangirl. Dax Shepard is married to Kristen Bell.
Yes, I was
beat you
about
to it.
Beat
you to it.
But I didn't know how to.
Yeah. What was that terrible movie they were in together?
Hit and Run.
Yeah,
I saw it.
It looked bad.
I liked it.
Really?
I mean, I liked it on a very.
You can forgive it. If Kristen Bell's
you go to bat for her.
Yeah.
I'm very forgiving of Jim Carrey, even though the last couple of movies have been really bad.
Yeah, I am very forgiving of Kristen Bell. Let's just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. So we're going to move on from that. And the next one up, which is due out in next week, I should say, which is The Book of Life. Now, this is an animated film, which we've seen a few posters for, but not too many previews or trailers. It's a very stylized animated film.
Is this the one Channing Tatum?
Yes, I believe it's Channing Tatum and Zoe Saldana.
Ooh, I like me some Zoe.
And I forget who else is in there. But there's a couple commercials out right now featuring the Cheetos.
Chester Cheeto?
Yeah, Chester Cheeto.
No, it's just Cheeto at the end. His last name is Cheeto.
Dangerously cheesy.
Yeah. There's a couple previews with him advertising this movie.
What?
Yeah,
How have I not seen this?
I have not seen this at all.
It's him and the group, and they're fighting these like banditos or something, and he draws out the banditos by tossing them Cheetos, and then he wrangles them up, and they lock them up or something. Yeah,
we're all lost, Mike.
Well,
None of us have seen this.
I haven't seen the previews for this. All I've seen is the animation style, and it looks like a good animation style. It looks like something that is. It's very Latin inspired.
Wait. Is this the one where it's kind of like the Day of the Dead?
Yes.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about.
There we
Yes,
go. Yeah,
yes.
it deals with the Day of the Dead. It very, skeletal forms,
right.
and people don't all look there. Kind of looks like a different animated version of Corpse Bride with the way the designs are.
Right, I could see that comparison.
A brighter Corpse Bride. That's a good way to put it.
What is it called?
The Book of Life. Yeah. Our fact checker should be looking it up, but he's asleep.
I feel like we're gonna get a bunch of Mexican stereotypes.
You know what?
Mariachi bands.
That's probably the case, sadly, but
he's not even.
He falls right back to sleep. He hasn't had his food. He's running on empty. Well, we're gonna finish up.
A book.
It was a book?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Probably the animation style from the book. Yeah. We're gonna get into our final feature presentation, which is Fury. So. This is one that I really want to see. Every preview for this has gotten me even more and more excited because they're revealing more about what happens with this crew towards like the middle of the film and why they have to do what they do. And they're revealing more about who's in the cast of this tank crew. So you have Brad Pitt, then you have the new driver or gunner, I forget who they bring in, the new kid. Then you have Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaDouche.
Yeah, Shia LaDouche. And I could be really wrong, but I think I hear Johnny Knoxville's voice in there.
Shut up.
I think it's Johnny Knoxville in the crew.
I know Michael Pena is one of the guys.
Yeah, I think
Who?
so.
Michael Pena.
Yeah. He's a Hispanic actor. He was in Crash.
Yeah.
Oh, him!
And what was that movie he was just in with Jake Gyllenhaal? That was really good.
End of Watch.
End
of Watch, yeah. I could be really wrong, but I could have swore I heard a voice that was Johnny Knoxville's voice.
I don't think so.
I mean, it'd be a really strange take for him to be in a movie like this.
I think you hallucinated that.
Just like I hallucinated Forrest Whitaker.
But anyway, I'm really looking forward to this. Every preview looks all the more better, and I really hope this lives up to the expectations.
Why does Brad Pitt have to look exactly the same from Inglourious Basterds? People, I swear to God, people are going to think that it's a sequel to Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, man. I would love it if it was that, but
Johnny Knoxville is not.
Not? Okay.
Good.
Fury. Sorry. I don't know why I heard that in there.
Stick to Jackass. I guess Bad Grandpa if you want.
And The Ringer.
There's a special place in my heart for that movie.
But anyone have any thoughts about Fury?
I'll probably see it. I don't know if I'll see it.
I will definitely see it.
See it.
Mm-hmm. I probably won't because I feel like I can't do. I know I have so many restrictions on the movies that I see, but I feel like I can't do war movies because they make me cry, and I don't like to cry when I watch movies if possible.
Okay.
No, I know what she's talking about. I have a cousin who doesn't like to watch horror because she doesn't want to get scared. I'm like, that's the point.
Yeah, right.
But I don't want to get scared because I don't. Thank you.
Well, what if I said to you, I don't want to watch?
I don't want to see romantic comedies to laugh.
Yeah, right. It would be that, or like to feel. That
I don't want to laugh.
Yeah, or I don't want to see romantic comedies to feel that warm fluffiness on the inside.
Yeah,
and that's
I'm
just
a cold,
you.
callous bastard.
Romantic comedies are bullshit. Nobody falls in love anymore.
So,
Fuck this movie.
Because I would think that's a different example as to what I would be saying. Because
fair enough. See, I've kind of been desensitized to war movies because the way I see it right now is nothing will ever have the impact of Saving Private Ryan. That movie kind of just end all be all was the war film for me, and past that, it's hard for anything to top that. Now I'm not going to go in and say, Fury has to top Saving Private Ryan. Absolutely not. I can still enjoy it for what it is. But I'm just saying, having seen war films and films dealing with war, like Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan, and movies like that where I've dealt with these topics before, I think you can get to a point where you can watch a movie like this and enjoy it for its cinematic values and get past that heartache,
Well, I don't I mean, for me, I'm a very emotional person. I just can't do that. Like, I don't have that divide between, my emotions and the cinematic value of something. Like, it took me, I just saw Toy Story 3, like, this year. Because I felt
it's
like
an emotional ride.
I mean, I know. That's why I didn't want to see it at first. Because I was just like, I know I'm going to be bawling like a baby. And I just, that...
I cry too. It's okay.
Yeah. Or the first 4 minutes of Up.
Oh my God.
Sometimes if I need to cry, that's what I do.
The
I look
intro
up the
to
first
Up
4 minutes to Up.
I know we've talked about this before, but the intro to Up is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Oh man. If you would have just made that a short film, just the first 10 minutes of Up, that'd been a beautiful short film.
It's very sad.
So sad.
I thought you'd be happy about it. It's the baby thing.
Oh my God. And on that, we're gonna call tonight. I want to thank the Goddess of Gore for coming by. I want to thank the Fangirl Extraordinaire for coming by.
Woo, and disclaimer, I don't want to kill babies, nor do I feel pleasure when babies die.
I want to thank Confucius 2.0 for coming by.
I need an upgrade.
And I want to thank Rob for coming by. Thank you for joining us, sir. It was great having you.
Had a good time.
Thank you. It was great having you. So I don't know, we'll probably do questions again at some point. Feel free to submit more questions. I mean...
It will be cheating if I get invited back.
We'll still answer your questions.
We like you, so it's okay.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, we won't invite you back on for the questions, but we'll just invite you back on.
There you go.
Point. Yeah. We'll just have you on. And I, once again, and the projectionist, thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good night, and take care.
Bye-bye. Thank you. We love you.